Aloha, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are joining us. My name is Jürgen Steinmetz, joining you from the Breaking News Show in cooperation with eTurbo News, Aviation, Meetings, and Hawaii News Online. Today, we're going to actually go to Croatia. And the reason we're going to Croatia because SKAL International has the annual meeting or annual conference, or we're going to find out more about it, in Croatia. For those that don't know what SKAL is the largest organization in the world and also the oldest organization in the world of travel professionals. It's all about doing business with friends, with members really in clubs everywhere. It's run from literally the way SKAL works is there are clubs, and there's a good chance wherever you're listening from, there may be a club actually in your city. And they meet, it's a little bit like the Rotary Club, but for the travel and tourism industry. And one time a year, everyone is coming together at the annual conference. And this annual conference will be in Croatia this year. Croatia, as you know, is on the Adriatic Sea. It's in Europe. It's a beautiful place. Croatia is part of the European Union. And I've been to Croatia one time, and I really enjoyed it. The food is fantastic. The hotels are great. And so we're going to hear a lot more. We have a guest today, and she is, I think, involved in organizing the event. And I'll let her introduce herself and tell us a little bit more.
Good morning. This is Katarina Hauptfeld, the owner of Katarina Line. We are the PCO. So we are the ones that are actually responsible that everything goes well with this Congress, which starts on the 13th of October and ends on the 18th of October. We have a lot of things prepared, some beautiful hotels, beautiful old buildings, because this area, especially OPATIJA, the OPATIJA Riviera, is what they say, the Mediterranean as it once was. So the Belle Epoque architecture and all the beautiful old buildings will just charm everyone. But we are not having it only in OPATIJA. We are having our opening ceremony in nearby RIJEKA. RIJEKA was once the biggest port, well, still is the biggest port in Croatia, but one of the biggest ports in the Mediterranean. So we are actually spreading the Congress out to 2 cities.
Wow. And tell us a little bit more. I know most of our business, of our readers and our listeners that are involved in the travel and tourism industry have heard about SKAL, or maybe they're even a SKAL member. But tell us a little bit more what SKAL is about. And you're a member of SKAL. I think you're a member of what club in SKAL?
Well, I've been in SKAL for many years, more than 30 years. I won't even say how many years, because then you'll know how old I am. But more than 30 years. And I was in Zagreb, which is Croatia's capital. I belonged to that club for many years and traveled to Zagreb for the meetings. However, 12 years ago, I was the one who founded the Kvarner Club. So we didn't give it the name of OPATIJA, the city where it's been held, or RIJEKA. We called it Kvarner because Kvarner is this bay, this beautiful bay where we live, so OPATIJA and RIJEKA in this Kvarner Bay. So our club is called the Kvarner Club. And it was always my dream, even before opening this Kvarner, SKAL International Kvarner Club, to have the International Congress here. And thank God, after 5 years of very hard work, because, you know, with the pandemic, we had to cancel. that we worked very hard in promoting our area and this Congress, and finally it's going to come through. Unfortunately, we will not be the numbers that we used to have prior to the pandemic, but today we're already close to 320 people, and I'm sure in the next couple of weeks we're going to get more, because people in tourism always book late. We know that.
Yes. And what SKAL is, it's doing, especially SKAL is doing business among friends. So everyone is a friend. And it's also something when you belong to SKAL and you're in the travel business and you do business with another SKAL member, it
Yes.
raises the trust level, because you don't do business with a stranger. Isn't that a really...
That is true. That is true. That is the main thing that we have to stress when talking about SKAL. I personally have benefited, or my company has benefited so much, as other companies that are owned by SKAL members, because of this trust, because of this friendship, and because we see each other. Not only do we see each other at our annual congresses, which are held every year in a different place, but we also see each other at the different trade shows, because our SKAL International always has a stand. We will have a stand now at the World Travel Market. We will have a stand at ITB in Germany, as well as soon in Las Vegas. So we see each other very often, and we have really, really benefited, or our business has benefited. But sometimes it's not even about the business side, because we are people. We like to have friends. We like to enjoy life. So when I'm visiting, whether it's business or privately, I always see if there's a SKAL club around, and I send them an email or I phone, and we meet and we exchange experiences, or they take me out or I take them out. It's really something special. I would really recommend people to join us, because we are a friendship club, and I'm sure they would really like to be part of this wonderful organization.
Yeah, and SKAL, of course, when you belong to one SKAL club, I still belong to the SKAL club in Germany, in Düsseldorf, even though I lived in the United States now since 1982. And but sometimes for me, this is kind of the link I still have to Germany. So I enjoy this, but it doesn't mean I couldn't attend events here in Honolulu or elsewhere. Wherever you go, when you're a member of SKAL, you can attend local events. So that makes really the organization very special. And it all started in Paris in what year it was?
1934. 1934.
Wow.
1934, a very long, long time ago. And we have to keep this together, because it was a great man who started it. And also we have this wonderful fund that he started as well, which we pay into, so that in case someone in our organization has financial or other problems or health problems and cannot pay all their bills, and that they can apply to our fund, our Fulcrum fund, so that they can get help from us. This is also something that is very, very good, and a lot of people in SKAL have used this fund for their problems that they've had in the past.
Yeah, and anyone who's listening now, if you go back to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/travel news, or you click on any of our links at eTurbo News or any of our other portals, you find a number of events where we talk to different SKAL members. For instance, we had a number of conversations with Burkin Turkan, who is actually the global president right now of SKAL. And there will be a new president after Croatia. So that president actually changes every year. And we also talked to SKAL Romania, what they had been doing in helping refugees from Ukraine coming over the border. And same our friend Karen in Paris, together with the SKAL clubs in Spain to help people to get settled in Europe. So SKAL is working on so many different fronts, and it's all volunteer work, so no one really gets paid for it.
No one gets paid for it. We have actually also done a lot to help the Ukrainians. We have very many of them. I actually even employed well, she's not a colleague, but she's Ukrainian, and she was in the travel business, and she doesn't speak the language, but of course, you know, having a travel agency, I could find her a job where she could just be communicating in the English language. So Croatia is also very, very much involved, and especially our club. We have done a lot to help them to feel at home here and to help them find apartments, find jobs, get their children in the kindergartens, and they are all doing pretty well at the moment. So that's something to also be proud of, because it's great to help.
Yeah, and it is. It's also sometimes it's. I mean, we have a wonderful gentleman working here at eTurbo News who's originally from the Donbas region, what is now, I think some call, the Russians call it the People's Republic of Luhansk. And his parents are there, his family is there, and you kind of sometimes feel firsthand, you know, what these people are going through with the situation, and they just simply deserve a little bit of sympathy and help.
Very much so, you know, because Croatia had a similar problem in, you know, during our war, which started 30 years ago, and our refugees were also all over the world, and we got help from every single country practically. So we know what it's like, and we feel for them. We feel for them. So we've really done a lot to help them to settle here.
And yeah, so you hear really SKAL is an organization what is worthwhile to join. And if you can go to skal.org, you can actually see where there are clubs. And if there isn't a club where you are, you know, you can start a SKAL club. It's really not that difficult. You just know how many people you need to start a SKAL club.
Well, I had 20 when I started, and we've grown to over 30 now. So, but I think if you already have about 15, you can already start a club. But we've also managed to change the bylaws that even you can be a member, even if there is not a club in your area. You can belong to another, or you can just be directly what's called international. So we've become very flexible with our, how should I say, well, like you're not in Germany. I think it's important, especially today. Look, we are communicating with the world over Zoom and everything, so it's not actually necessary to be in a certain place. And but it's necessary to be friends, to help, do business among friends, help other people, and do good in the world. And
so you just said the magic word, and I didn't even know this, being a SKAL member for so many years now. So you can just go to skal.org and join SKAL, whether there is a club or there's not a club. You can just join. That means
no, you cannot just join. You have to be a professional in tourism.
Of course, you have to be a travel
and you have to be working in the tourism business, and you need two people to recommend your application, so that we know who is. And of course there are certain classifications. You need to be either in you have to be in the tourism business, whether it's a destination management company, or whether it's a hotel, or whether it's you know, a bus company. There are certain qualifications, anything to do with tourism. So a lot of people can, of course, join.
Of course. SKAL is a professional organization, and people are usually in a management position in tourism. Right. There's also young SKAL, so SKAL has done a lot, especially recently, to help young people to get acquainted with the organization and be actually active in SKAL. So there's another good opportunity. And if you are a SKAL member, or if you become a SKAL member, and you get this all done before October, before the event, or if you're a member, how can you join the event so you can see a little bit of Croatia?
You can go on the SKAL website and just ask, just book online. We still have loads of space, and we're looking forward to a lot of the last minute bookings, because like I said, OPATIJA is a beautiful place, and so is RIJEKA, and we have so much in store for everyone. I forgot to mention that the motto of this Congress is a cultural Congress, because when we were voted in RIJEKA, one of the towns where we are having the opening ceremony and some other events, was voted the European culture capital of culture. So that was our motto. And of course, the culture is here, so we just continue to keep it, even though it's not that year. And apart from the culture, there of course will be so many other fantastic events, because who can present their country better than someone, a local domestic company, or the local organizing committee, which is responsible, which are also volunteers of our club, doing working night and day to make this event not only happen, but to make it the best event ever. We always want ours to be better than the one before. That's what we work on, and we try and give these professionals the best of Croatia, or the best of this county where they are coming, because of course most of them are tour leaders or tour operators, and maybe they will come here with their groups or with their partners or whatever. But even if they just come and visit, we're pleased to have such a great number of people coming to see our beautiful country.
Yeah, and now, of course, tourism is restarting everywhere in the world, because we went through the biggest crisis, COVID, this industry has ever faced. So there couldn't be a more timely event as the event this year in Croatia. So I think it is not only from culture perspective, of course, it's important from a personal perspective, but also from a business perspective. I think it's so important to attend this event. If you are a SKAL member, you should be in Croatia. And when you go to Croatia, where would you be staying? I mean, you're staying in the, is there a hotel where the venue is, or where are you going to have your meeting?
The majority of hotels are in the town of OPATIJA, the OPATIJA Riviera, and the headquarters hotel is the Hotel Ambassador. And then all the events are very within walking distance. So we have Hotel Imperial in OPATIJA, we have Hotel Bellevue in OPATIJA, we have Hotel Istria. And then in RIJEKA, which is only 15 kilometers away, we have a lot of bookings already for the new Hilton, Costa Bella, which only opened its doors a year ago. And so a lot of our SKAL members have chosen to be there, but there'll be a shuttle coming every 15 minutes to pick them up and so on. But where the gala dinner is going to be held is something very, very special. Actually, everything will be filmed. It will be something that maybe your listeners would be interested in. The gala dinner will be in the grand ballroom of the Hotel Kvarner, which was the first hotel built on the Adriatic Riviera, built in 1884.
Wow.
And it's a crystal ballroom, which is so magnificent that it's very difficult for me to even express how beautiful it is. So that's where we will have our gala dinner. And the opening ceremony will be in RIJEKA, in also a beautiful, beautiful building from the exact same time, which is our opera house and our theater and opera house in the city of RIJEKA. So we are really doing the events in places that some of the people would probably never go or have time to go and see if they were on a short visit to our country. So it will really be fantastic. We will have, like I said, everything's within walking distance, but you know, sometimes you have people with health problems, and that we will have a shuttle for people that don't want to walk so much, because the Americans like to drive in the car. They're not like the Europeans. We like to walk more.
Yeah, no,
like
actually, if you are in the United States and you're thinking about going to Croatia, this is the time to go to Europe. I just looked actually at the exchange rate, and the dollar is 105 compared to the euro, and it was the other way around. So literally, you're almost getting 20% more, or even 25% more of your money you just got about a year ago. So now it's really the time to travel to Europe, and this is a bargain. So talking about bargain, I don't know how much is it going to cost. It sounds all quite expensive, doesn't it?
Well, I don't really think it's that expensive, because you have all your meals and you have your drinks and your get-together party and your gala dinners, and everything is practically included. Depends on the hotel, but you're talking about let's say a middle price of 1,200 euros, but you have cheaper versions as well. And if someone doesn't want to be in the hotel, they can also contact us and just pay for the actual Congress fee, which is around 600 euros, and maybe stay in a B&B or an apartment. Some have done that as well. But we also have 3-star Hotel Istro, which is pretty reasonable. Prices are also stated on our website and on SKAL's website. So the transfers to and from the airports are included. Like I said, most things are included. Just to get a cheap airfare over here, I see KLM has wonderful connections. I don't want to do any advertising for any airlines, but I've been using KLM, and also Turkish have got
Turkish
fantastic,
is wonderful. Yes,
wonderful rates and wonderful service.
right.
And Condor flies to I think to Frankfurt, and then you have a direct flight from Frankfurt again to Zagreb, where our free transport is waiting for them, or to, any connection to Venice, because we also have a transfer possibility from Venice, Italy, which is maybe a bigger hub than what Zagreb is. So I'm sure at this time of the year, and in October, the airline prices are not as high as they would be in the main season.
Yeah, and then you're talking about Turkish and also Condor. Both Condor, for those that want a little bit more comfortable, Condor is flying to a lot of places in the US, even Las Vegas. You can go nonstop to Frankfurt.
Yes.
Or of course you can go Lufthansa and connect. But if you go on Condor, the business class on Condor is quite reasonable, and so is Turkish Airlines compared to most other airlines. So if you want to spend a little bit more and go in comfort,
That's right.
you can think about it. And how many nights is this how many days will you be having this event?
Well, I told, as I said, it starts on the 13th of October, it ends on the 18th. But we have people coming a day or two earlier.
Oh, definitely. You should.
Or staying, and some of them are actually even flying into Dubrovnik or to Split and doing our cruise, a pre-cruise up to OPATIJA. Some from Split to OPATIJA is a 5-day one, and then we have a 7-day cruise as well, connecting OPATIJA and Dubrovnik after the Congress on the 18th and ending on the 25th of October in Dubrovnik.
That's
And
the way
that
to go. Go on a cruise after this, you know?
and
If you go all
that's
the way to Europe, what's another week, you know?
but it's a small ship cruise, so that's only 18 cabins on
Right.
board. So you like in a yacht type cruise,
Wonderful.
and also everything is included, most of the excursions and meals and that's also another, say, $1,000 or just over $1,000, which is very, very reasonable.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes.
No, you
I would-
really, yeah, I think you get everyone hungry and ready to go.
Wanting to go.
Yes,
Ready to go.
that's what we
Well,
want, you know.
that's what we want, and I want the people to see how wonderful our SKAL is and how proud we are to be showing them our country, and also getting together with all our clubs. You know, we have our twinning clubs in SKAL. We twin with different clubs. For example, we are meeting our a twinning club from New Jersey, and we're having some drinks together and getting more and more friendly, so that we get together. This is a chance for us to get together even more than ever, you know, because not everyone has the possibility to travel to all these travel fairs. So, but they do try and be at the annual congresses, and this is where we tend to be really mixing and meeting everyone and really enjoying ourselves.
And I'd almost said SKAL is all about drinking, because the word SKAL means cheers, I think, in Swedish. But of course, it's not all about drinking, but SKAL has a meaning. There's a toast, actually.
Yeah.
People do at SKAL. Tell us a little bit about the SKAL toast.
I don't know exactly, but it's I always get mixed up, but it's to fellow colleagues everywhere, happiness, then it's friendship, and then it's
Long life.
long life, and then SKAL. So that it's
Right. And they do this many, many times. So if you don't,
many times, every time we meet, we do the SKAL toast, and we remember all our friends, because it is happiness and friendship and good health are the main things in life when you really come to look at it, you know, when you sum up life as it is. And I think it's summed up in that in our toast very well. Like you remembered, I forgot to mention that. Yes.
no,
So I would really like people to contact us. I'm there in the local organizing committee, but also as the PCO, and they can write to me directly if they have, or to one of our people directly if they have any questions, or if they want to stay shorter or longer. Anything is possible.
no,
So
wonderful. I think everyone is looking forward, and hopefully it's going to sell out in no time. So it's really, really, it was really great talking to you today and learning a little bit more about the upcoming SKAL. What is it? It's not a summit, right? It's a SKAL annual meeting.
it's a congress. It's a
It's a congress. Okay.
Yes, and I forgot to mention the other event that we do. We have what we call the dine around. I don't know if you remember. We have in OPATIJA and in RIJEKA very many special restaurants. So we organize an evening when people have their dine around. And people can choose a restaurant where they are going to eat that evening. So they don't eat in their hotel, but they choose where they want to be. So we have I think more than 20 different restaurants that they can choose from. So the ones that come first, they have more choice than the ones that come last. But you know, from fish restaurants to Japanese to, but mainly Croatian
And
and
Croatian food is so good. It's so fresh. You know,
yes,
it's
a
one of
lot
the
of
best
fish.
foods in the world, actually. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Well, especially this area, we're very close to Trieste, Italy. I mean, we are only 1 hour from Trieste and only 2.5 hours from Venice, Italy. So there's a lot of Italian influence here with our food, and also other influences. But on the sea, it's very similar to the Italian seafood and everything. We prepare it in the same way and so on. So the food is excellent, and we forgot to mention our wines. We have excellent wine, excellent Croatian red and white wines are very, very good. And of course, the schnapps, we have a sponsor who's giving us
That sounds
some
dangerous. Now we're getting really, really in dangerous territory.
But that's besides the point. The main thing is to be together, to have a good time, to see the place, to experience the wonderful culture that we have here in OPATIJA, which is called the cradle of Croatian tourism, with this hotel that I mentioned earlier, which was built in 1884. So this is where tourism started. It started here, not in Dubrovnik, but in OPATIJA. A lot of people don't know that what Dubrovnik is in the south, OPATIJA is even more in the north.
No, this sounds wonderful. And one last thing, and I'm just wondering, your explanations were excellent, and people really get a feeling of Croatia. And you, I think you own a company, a DMC, right? So when tour operators or travel agents want to book clients to Croatia, they can contact you, can't they?
Yes, Katarina Line is not only a small ship or yacht type cruise company. We are a DMC. Actually, we are larger on land than what we are on sea. Although from the name, you would probably think we are just a cruise company. We work with a lot of tour operators already from the US and from Canada and from all over the world. And we bring into Croatia approximately, let's say in 2019, we brought over 140,000 clients in that year from abroad to Croatia. So some say we are maybe the second or the largest Croatian tourism company, but I don't like to talk about the numbers. We are here to serve everyone, and if anyone is interested, they can contact us and have a look on our website, just katarinaline.com.
Katarinaline.com. So we're going to put this up. And
Katarina, K-A-T-A. Not a lot of people say Katarina with an E like they do in Russia, but this is with K-A-T-A-R-I-N-A.
So we're going to put this on the screen so people can read it.
Please.
And also, if you wanted to listen to this again and you're looking for the website and also for SKAL.org or any information, this will now probably repeat every hour or so for the next 24 hours. And after this, you find our broadcast on breakingnewsshow.com. And of course, it's linked from eTurbo News, from our YouTube channels, from Vimeo. So if you want to listen to this or our many other events, and there are quite a few now also on SKAL, just go back to our archive and hopefully you find what you're looking for. But please, if you have a chance to go Croatia in October, do it. It'll be a lot of fun. Thank you so much, Katarina, for your time today.
I guarantee that they'll have a great time. We are waiting for them, for everyone to come.
Many, many friends are waiting for you. So
yes, that's right. SKAL to everyone. All the best. All the best.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. And we see you again shortly. And for everyone else, thank you for joining us today. And if you're not subscribed yet to eTurbo News, just click on subscription and you can actually get our updates really around the clock, because we're here 24/7 every day and let you know what's going on in the world. And if you're a SKAL member and also wanted to become a member of the World Tourism Network, just go to wtn.travel, click on join, and we would love to have you on board. We also have members in 128 countries right now. And it's definitely, I think, two good organizations to belong to. But for the fun right now, you got to join SKAL and you got to go to Croatia.
I agree.
Okay. Aloha from Hawaii, and talk to you later.
Aloha. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.